myself, is he the same fighter? And I'm a realist. I'm a real person. I feel like, people should be saying that, because if I see in the car accident and I'm from the outside looking in, I say the same thing. So for me, I just want to put on a great performance, a great show, and show people that, man, he's still beating guys up, punishing them, and just, making them quit mentally and physically. So for me, I'm just going to, try to put a beating on Danny Garcia and make it the worst beating that he ever had in his boxing career.
Okay, then. That's Errol Spence Jr. talking that talk about our next guest, Danny Garcia, with us now, the welterweight title on the line. Danny, thank you so much for being with us this morning. I want to get your reaction to what you just heard from Spence right there about beating you down.
Listen, I done heard it all before. I've been in this game for a while. It's easy to talk, but it's hard to back it up.
Danny, the first time I talked to you was in the pre-fight fighter meeting before you took on Amir Khan. And when people were saying, well, how's Danny Garcia beat Amir Khan? Because he was thought very highly at the time, super fast. He was the man in the division. I thought, given your amateur background, if you just punch with him, you're going to catch him in exchanges, and you took a better shot than him, and you might get him, and you did. But Errol Spence Jr. is something else. He's taking great shots. He has punching power, hand speed. He's a southpaw. He's got range. He can box. He can punch. How do you go about beating him?
We just have to go in there and make adjustments. Go in there, let him feel my power. I'm a skillful fighter. I've been in the game for a while, and I feel like he's never been in the ring in the ring with a fighter like me. So, I just got to go in there and make adjustments. And
for the record, I think you're great. You're 36-2. The only 2 losses in your career were to Keith Thurman and the Sean Porter. I've always thought that you were an excellent fighter, and I think this is going to be a great fight. I can't wait to see it. But I want to know from your perspective what this fight means to you, because listen, we're at a time right now, we're looking for Errol Spence. We all really want him against Terrence Crawford because of the perception of them being the 2 great fighters. Obviously, we see Pacquiao still in that division. We saw what he did to Keith Thurman, and you've got people speculating about what his future might hold. And Danny Garcia's name doesn't get mentioned nearly as much as I think it should. Knowing that, how important is this fight to you in terms of your career moving forward?
I think this fight is very important for me. This is a career this is the biggest fight to date. Right now in my career, I've been in some big fights, but I feel like this is the biggest fight right now in my career, and I have to go in there and get this victory and look good to show the people that, I am one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and that's why I'm a 3-time champion, because I've been fighting the best and beating the best since, I stepped in on the top level.
Yeah, boxing people know how good you are, Danny. And even the loss to Thurman was a close, tough fight. And the only other loss to Porter, and maybe his best career, it's one of his 2 best career performances, probably against you and Errol Spence, which was a very close fight. If he doesn't get knocked down late, that fight could go either way. But Spence is coming off of this accident, this car accident. He even said, from the outside looking in, I'd have the same questions about me. What do you think about him jumping right in, first fight back with a fighter like you? That's a huge risk. What do you think about that? Is that commentary on what he thinks of you or how confident he is? What do you think about that?
At the end of the day, only he knows what he can do. So I came into this camp training hard, worried about Danny Garcia, making sure that, I got the right training, the right running, the right nutrition, everything. Just more focused on myself, and just preparing myself for the best Errol Spence. I can't go into this fight thinking, he had a car accident, he's not going to be the same, it's going to be easy. That's not on my mind. My mind is, I was supposed to fight him in January. So that was my mindset, the same mindset from January. Then he got into the accident, COVID happened. So my mindset was fighting the best Errol Spence, and that's the hard work I put in. I put 3 hard months of training camp in, and I feel great physically.
Danny, you've been pretty active. I know you haven't fought since last January, but for the most part, you've been pretty active throughout your career. Obviously, Errol Spence had that nasty car accident. Why is it that you're fighting Errol Spence Jr. instead of Terrence Crawford? I don't know the answer to that question. Forgive me. I'm just asking. Could be business. It could be something else. Why did that happen?
You know what the answer is? You know, he's the number one guy. He had the two titles, and you know, I want to be the number one guy, and that's why I want to fight him.
Okay.
All right, this Saturday, welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. will make his return to the boxing ring after nearly a year layoff due to a near-fatal car crash. He will defend his title against one of the best welterweights in the world in Danny Garcia. And with that, we welcome in the great Errol Spence Jr. to First Take. Errol, you know what they say, you can't have a comeback if you don't have a setback. I know it's been a crazy past year for you.
For me, just staying focused, you know, training, losing the weight, and just being 100% on point. I think me and my coach been working since probably July. So, I mean, we've been grinding, working hard, trying to get back, staying 100% focused. I'm 100% ready for December 5th, Saturday night.
Errol, thank you for being on the show. First of all, I want to say I'm thankful and I'm grateful that you're okay, because that was a nasty-looking car crash that you got yourself into, and we understand the trouble that came from that. I want to know what your health situation is like, because, you know, to me, I know you walked away, you had a bloody eye and some scars on your face, but that seemed to be all. My first thing is, how healthy are you?
I'm 100% healthy. Like I said, I went to the clinic and they got checked out and went to the hospital. They did all type of exams on me and MRIs and everything. You know, they didn't see any brain swelling or anything. Had me do reaction tests and everything. And I passed them with flying colors. So they gave me the cue to continue boxing. So that's the first thing was my health, to make sure I was good and everything checked out straight. I was going to the gym, I was training. Then I started sparring in September. I started sparring in September. I looked great. And, you know, then we got a fight lined up with Danny Garcia. So everything been going, you know, pretty much as scheduled. It was just a blessing that, you know, I'm able to continue my career so early and, you know, come back so early, a little less over than a year.
For those mainstream sports fans who don't know, Errol Spence is considered one of the real special fighters in boxing. Tall, rangy, a southpaw, can beat you with his jab and defense. Ask Mikey Garcia, but doesn't look to do that, looks to punish the opponent, knockout power. You have it all. You're a complete fighter, Errol. But Danny Garcia, is also a very good fighter.
Yes, he is.
He has one close loss, very close loss to Keith Thurman, one wider loss to Sean Porter, but Sean Porter gave you everything you wanted. That was a fight of the year type fight. I thought you won because of the knockdown late, which he got up from, but that was nip and tuck the whole way. How do you plan after this kind of accident, coming back from that, to actually beat Danny Garcia? What's the game plan?
Well, first of all, I thought, you know, I could have beat Sean Porter easy on the outside like I did Mikey Garcia. But, you know, my whole game plan was a Sean Porter fight, even sitting in training camp. You know, I wanted to fight. I wanted to show people that I can beat him on the inside. So that's what I did. Even with Mikey Garcia, I wanted to show people that I can box, because people said that he had better boxing IQ than me. So I showed people I can box. And with this fight, you know, I'm just going to show everybody that, you know, I'm just all around just a better fighter. On the inside, outside, you know, with the jab, you know, combination, hooks, whatever you want to do in the ring, I can do better than Danny Garcia. I mean, he's a great fighter, iron chin, very tough. But I don't think, even if I was at 70%, Danny Garcia couldn't beat me.
It's interesting that you say that. Listen, I like Danny Garcia a lot. He's 36-2. His only two losses were to Keith Thurman and to Sean Porter, just like Max pointed out. But I had you as my top pound for pound, top 2 pound for pound in the world. But Terrence Crawford has a